Hey, it's Margie with the Asking Spot, and this is sort of a beginner's tutorial on how to mess with furniture without totally messing it up.
Something's different.
It's something I used to do, and I got away from doing it, and I need to bring it back. It's doing whatever it is I want to do on a big piece, first testing it out on a small piece. And it would be great if we could find little miniatures of everything we were working on. But you know, you got that big beautiful piece that from grandma, that armoire you've inherited, and you want to try some technique, and you've got most people saying, no, don't touch it. Yet you're in person, you can see it, it needs some help. Or maybe, hey, it's yours and it's your decision. I get it. But before you go through, like I have done in the past, all the work of trying this wonderful technique, only to find out that
Shucks.
you may have messed something up, or maybe that's just not the product you need to work with because it just doesn't work well with you.
You suck.
It happens. Instead, try it on something smaller. Frames. Yep, you can go to estate sales and thrift stores, got them for $1. They're fab. And they're perfect because on this one, I've been wanting to try and check, you know, wood filler always says, oh yeah, it's stainable, and I've had some issues. So I'm going to try some different products on here, see what I can do to fill this up. I think I'd give my husband a heart attack because our youngest has got a boyfriend now.
Not funny.
Anyway, but yeah, so I could try wood filler on that, try some stain on that. Also, I saw one of my favorite YouTubers, Ms. Flips, she did this thing where she stains two different color stains on the same piece of wood. And I asked her about it, and she's like, oh yeah, you just use a dry brush technique. I've never done that. Yeah, so this will be the perfect piece to try it out on before I try it on something bigger. As for this one, I like actually just about everything about it, except for I just didn't like, it's got a crackling. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, so I want to get rid of it. And normally I would just use my smart strip. I finally found a good stripper that I absolutely love, can get into all these little integral spots. But when I was bragging about how wonderful Smart Strip was, Maureen gave a comment on it and said that she's got lots of allergies, so she has come up with her own concoction, and it turns out I have got all the ingredients, and it's not that big of a list. So I'm going to give that a shot on this
That's
one.
not happening.
But first things first, as with any of the projects, you want to clean them first. Now I use vinegar and water to clean my pieces because it's readily available, it's easy to use. There are a lot of crud cutters and different cleaners that you can use. By all means, if that's going to get whatever you need to get off, it's a lot about, it's not just the grime of, you know, the natural human oils you're trying to get off. We're also trying to get off what's left behind when polishes are used. Hey, real quick tip, when it comes to using this vinegar water mix, or pretty much probably any of those things that, you know, want to cut through all the crud, don't use them on anything polished, like a granite or a marble top of something, or even a wood piece that if you want to keep that lovely shine to it and luster to it, this will definitely dull that stuff. Finally. Okay, so once again, I am glad I did the cleaning first, because upon further inspection, you learn a lot of things. Now, the good news is this one going to proceed as planned. This one, I had it all taped off. I was cleaning it, and then I realized it's plastic. So I can't use a stripper to get off the crackled effect that's down there. So what I'm going to try and do is fill it. But I want to just mildly fill it because I don't want to destroy or disturb these guys. I still like them. And yeah, plastic's fun. This should be interesting. Not going to be using wood filler on this. Let's see what happens. It's whenever I do an experiment, I like to work with what I have. I've got this in my garage, and I figure this is probably pretty accessible for everyone.
Wrong.
Except for the fact that it's really not the right product for this piece. But still, I gotta try. And then there's this. I have no idea where it came from, how long it's been in my garage, or if it's even really any good, but I did stick my finger in there, and it's still slightly gooey, so I'm going to give it a shot.
That doesn't
doesn't sound very scientific.
Sand, so you gotta go. Go. Come on. Go. Yeah. Good girl. Come on. Sadness. What I keep looking for is, see how this is a nice pale color and this still is more of a yellow. Well, that's also a texture difference. And while I never worry about the back that much,
Look behind you.
I do want the front to be smooth. I do. I need to get to the sides. Now there's a part of me that's like, should I just keep sanding? Totally get rid of this stuff? I mean, that's probably what I would do if this were, say, a piece of furniture that I didn't like having baby etched into it. But I really want to check out the experiment of whether a wood filler can stain well and how well I can work with it. You probably know better than I do. Is this video titled "When All Your Plans Don't Go the Way You Planned"? Or
Nope.
words to that effect? 'Cause
Meanwhile,
Well, here it's dry and it's a little deceptive because, yeah, the grout, you can definitely see you visually can't see through it. And this one, it's translucent, but if you could feel it, there is no more of the crackle texture. There is, however, on both of them, a lot of grit, so it's going to need sanding regardless.
I know the drill.
I have to say, I'm pretty surprised at the results. Honestly, I didn't think it would work.
But Marjorie,
But-
she couldn't resist.
But like this side of it, where I used the joint compound, sure, if I had left it super thick, that would be fine. But it literally it chipped off, so I can feel every bit of the former crackle finish. And I thought with this one being translucent, the whole filler, that it would also do the same thing. Nope. It actually worked. Now visually, sure, you can still see all those crackle lines, but it feels perfectly smooth, so I can apply paint and it should look great. Stop. All right, is the name of this video "Figure Out Your Plan and Stick to It"?
Nope.
Or at least there better be something that says something about making many mistakes.
Sort of.
I have. All right, here's the thing. I could show you the rest of this, but there's a big problem. Using the wood filler doesn't work on that burn etching. It's because it wasn't deep enough. So because it's so shallow, there wasn't enough for the wood filler to grasp onto. The little that did stick around, when I put on the stain, it kind of just flowed away, and then I just had an enhanced bit of engraving. Yeah, I didn't really want to show you that. Here's the other thing though that really annoys me, is that part is, hey, I learned something cool. I hope I helped you out there as well. The part that bothers me is the plan
We plan plans?
was to try a technique on this that would involve different stains on the same piece of wood. I stained the whole thing. So, not going to bore you. I went ahead, sanded it all back down, and I do mean all of it. Got rid of any little thing that says baby or whatnot, and gotta say, those little buggers, it took a lot to get those out. But it is important to remember that though, if you ever are trying to get something around a wood etching like that that's been burnt in, it's not very deep. You do kind of have to sand around it. Wood filler's not going to cut it, or at least the wood filler I used.
Moving on.
So my favorite mentor has got me using Frogger's tape only for these kind of things. And yeah, gonna still use the gel stain that I got on a great sale price. Seriously, check out the mistake paints and oops paints that you see in your hardware stores. Be surprised what you can get on sale. And then of course also always check the garage in the estate sales. The idea with this technique is using a gel stain because it is very easy to apply. You still have the benefits of stain though with it, in that you can make it as opaque or see-through or clearish as you'd like, pretty much. So in the striped areas, I wanted that to be very thick, and I'm not really wiping those off. And then on the corners, I wanted varying degrees of stain on there, and I definitely tried to wipe a lot of that off quickly as possible. Tape reveal time. Always love this part. Fair warning though, some mistakes are about to happen. But in the meantime though, this should have been left as it was, just exactly how I have it. But no, I couldn't stop there.
You make a mistake writing mistakes.
Oh, still wet, still wet.
She'll do it. I'm sure she'll still do it. Why? Why would she still do it?
Not sticking.
So the plan is to put on a very light coat of stain in the light areas.
I mean, don't you see a problem there?
I'm putting this on like super early, and yeah, I think there's a potential for a hot mess here, but pressing forward. Is the title of this video, Listen to Your Gut?
Nope.
I know that stain takes out stain, and you know, it's like same with your hair dye. When it's not sealed or when it's not set or cured, you can use it to remove it. So when I applied it again, I simply removed it. Okay, so now I've moved some tapes around. I'm gonna leave the middle sections as they were. I'm gonna let this sit and hopefully dry really well. And I'm actually gonna introduce a different stain color. I know, this might be adding to my headache, but I happen to have a gel stain that's black. It'll go with it, and that's what I'm going with. But lessons are being learned, right? Life near an airport. All right, so I am going back through the paintbrush and applying some of the stain in spots that might have missed. And I'm also using mineral spirits to remove some of the stain that bled through in areas where it shouldn't. And yes, then I'm going to have to reapply the stain that's appropriate for those areas. All right, while the stains are doing their thing and drying, I'm going to give a blast of this to the plastic frame because it's a base coat and I've kind of given up. Ooh, is that the title of this video?
No, dear.
All right. Before we look at the final results, let's take a look back at where we started. And if you could, please click subscribe, give a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel and I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so here's the final results. And I don't hate it. Oh, there we go. Not the title of this video, but that might be what I put on the t-shirt. Asking spot. I don't hate it. But I did learn a lot. Now, as far as the wood stain technique, I thought that was pretty cool, but definitely if you're gonna do that one, letting the first stain dry before moving tapes. I had heard you could just move tapes and keep going, but stain takes out stain, and if you overlap too much, it'll definitely wipe it out. Not to mention, I found getting the tape to stick on the slightly wet wood just didn't work very well. Another thing I would probably, if I did that one again, I wouldn't do it in the grays and blacks because that just kind of came off as variations of dirt. But I was working with what I had and I like those guys separately. I just didn't like them together. And then we move on to the plastic piece. Neither product really worked in my book and just wasn't a good idea. It did occur to me that maybe air dry clay might work. Not sure. I think that would make it really super heavy. Still on the search for the answer to that. If you've got a great filler for plastic other than melting it, you know, or adding melted stuff, please put that in the comments below. I'd love to hear those and maybe try them out. I do have to give props though to the paint because it was a leveling paint, and even though it was a gloss, which gloss, by the way, whenever you're doing a bumpy surface, you don't want to use gloss because the highlights and lowlights, that accents the bumpy surface more. I should have used just a matte and that would look better. But that being said, that gloss paint did pretty well. And well, there you have it. I was glad I got to play around with the gold paint again. Every time I use it, I just think it's really cool and highly recommend it. Hope that helps, and I hope it gives you an idea of how to test a technique before you wreck an antique.
Finally.
Diddle. Thanks so much for watching The Asking Spot. Really nice polish that you want to keep, say a granite or a marble piece. You don't want to use this. That will take the polish. Plastic is the best. If you could, please click the subscribe button, give a thumbs up. That really helps out the channel. Stop. I'm fighting with my camera.